Picture this. It's 1960. The Beatles haven't made it big yet. Harold Macmillan is Prime Minister, and Britain's cinema goers are queuing up, not for epic dramas or Hollywood blockbusters.
I was here before him!
But for a film about 3 bumbling police recruits who can barely keep their helmets straight. That film, Carry On Constable. Now, you might know the Carry On films for their cheeky humour and legendary ensemble cast, but this was the first one to really lean into the formula that would define the series. A mix of slapstick, character comedy, and good old British daftness, all set against the backdrop of a flu-stricken police station. And believe me, it still holds up in the best way. Let's set the scene.
6 down with flu now. Difficult days, eh, Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
The local police station is in crisis.
Difficult times for those of us who haven't
Got flu, yes, you're right. All right.
Half the staff are out with the flu, and the ever-exasperated Sergeant Wilkins, played by a brand new addition to the Carry On family, Sid James, is at his wit's end.
Sergeant Wilkins, can you lend me a hand here, please?
Come in. Excuse me.
Wilkins is gruff, no nonsense, and somehow always looks like he's 5 minutes away from blowing a gasket. Naturally, he's about to get some help.
Lovely sight day, Thurston.
Not half, Sergeant.
At ease, at ease.
Just not the kind he asked for.
What delayed you? Couldn't you find your way to the station?
That's right.
Right.
Enter 3 brand new constables, fresh out of training and already causing chaos.
I'm Benson, Sergeant.
There's Kenneth Williams as PC Stanley Benson, a self-proclaimed intellectual and armchair psychologist who insists on overthinking absolutely everything. Williams was already a known voice on radio,
Seems to me barely advanced from the wolf pack.
but this role let him show off his trademark pompous delivery and deadpan timing on screen.
We'll show those school instructors a thing or two.
Then, we've got Leslie Phillips as PC Tom Potter, the smooth-talking ex-public schoolboy with charm to spare.
But don't take too long.
His suave persona adds a touch of polish, until, of course, things start going hilariously wrong.
On the day of the finals, a black cat fell off the roof.
And finally, there's Kenneth Connor as PC Charlie Constable. Yes, his last name is actually Constable.
I learned what constitutes an obstruction, parking regulations.
Connor plays him as a jittery, deeply superstitious everyman who's constantly convinced the sky is about to fall. He's earnest, a bit clumsy, and completely lovable.
Reincarnation, sir. It accounts for some of our more uncanny experiences.
Now, fun fact. On their way to the station, the 3 new recruits unknowingly cross paths with a group of jewel thieves making their escape. As the robbers load their loot into a getaway car, PC Tom Potter, played by Leslie Phillips, stops them to politely ask for directions to the police station,
So sorry to have delayed you.
That's quite all right.
completely unaware of who they really are. Not exactly a strong start.
Any luck?
Rather.
Thank goodness for that. All this tramping about, my feet are killing me.
As if things weren't chaotic enough, Charles Hawtrey strolls in as Special Constable Timothy Gorse.
And now you must all meet Bobby, my budgie. Say hello, Bobby.
Hello, Bobby.
Hawtrey's performance, as always, is full of nervous energy and delightful awkwardness. He spends much of his time partnered with the overly analytical PC Stanley Benson. Their odd couple dynamic adds a steady stream of awkward misunderstandings
Have to keep your glasses on.
Why?
You don't look pretty enough.
and comic timing throughout their patrols.
Well, really? You're no Bridget Bardot either.
We're also introduced to WPC Gloria Passworthy, played by the wonderful Joan Sims.
I can find my own way, thank you, Sergeant. No.
She's smart, patient, and quickly becomes the object of affection for Constable Charlie.
Hello there.
Oh, good morning, Constable.
Their sweet, little romance adds a surprising bit of heart to the story.
You've got to listen to me. I'm happy. And I want to make you happy too, my dear.
Especially when he tries to overcome his unlucky streak and win her over. Back at the station, we've got Inspector Mills, played by Eric Barker,
On a scooter? Well, why wasn't I told about this?
trying to hold it all together,
I personally wouldn't send you down to the corner of the street for me to buy a bag of aniseed balls.
and Hattie Jakes as Sergeant Laura Moon, stern, dry-witted, and endlessly capable.
Better knowledge of the district first. Pick up a map and study it.
Jakes was already a fan favourite for her roles in Hancock's Half Hour, and she brings the same straight-faced authority here.
Strange, don't you think? The only efficient rookie's a woman.
The film follows the rookies as they bungle their way through early patrols. In one scene, Constable is convinced he's overheard a murder,
You killed him!
only to discover he's been eavesdropping on a radio play.
I thought I heard a murder, Sergeant.
It was only the radio.
In another, Benson almost arrests a plainclothes detective.
Oh dear. But you look such a standard criminal type.
And then there's Potter, who responds to an intruder call and finds a young woman in the bath.
At present, you're both a bundle of nerves.
not exactly a standard procedure situation. But, in typical British fashion, they managed to have a civil chat about her recent breakup instead.
Potter!
Despite the chaos, the team slowly pulls themselves together, just in time for a major case. When a wages robbery takes place, the group springs into action. In a classic moment of redemption, Benson and Potter spot the robbers' getaway car, a Plymouth Cambridge, and the whole gang jumps into action.
Have you thought of anywhere they might be hiding?
Why, yes, the street of 1,000 mouse holes.
They track down the thieves, recover the money, and finally prove themselves as real policemen.
Shh, listen. Well, you've certainly shown you can inspire recruits.
Oh, thank you, sir.
The ending ties everything up with a bow. Inspector Mills gets promoted for his leadership.
Decided to transfer you immediately to the area college in charge of morale and discipline.
Sergeant Wilkins is rewarded with a bump up the ladder.
Tell Sergeant Wilkins to take over the station, will you, Wills?
Temporarily, sir, of course.
No, he's been promoted.
And Charlie Constable gets his girl, thanks to a little gentle nudging from Sergeant Moon. And perhaps most importantly, he finally lets go of his superstitions.
Just a moment, madam.
Show us your girdle.
Carry On Constable wasn't just a turning point for the franchise. It was a hit with audiences too.
Lost my pussy. The name's Fluff.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Fluff.
It became one of the top 10 box office earners in Britain in 1960.
I know this'll frighten you. Now then. Help!
It helped shape the identity of the Carry On brand, with its mix of workplace satire, gentle absurdity, and a tightly knit cast that would come to define British comedy for decades.
All of a sudden, he grabbed me behind and...
I did not, you lying old witch.
Filming took place at Pinewood Studios, which became the home base for the Carry On films.
This is it.
This is our accommodation.
All that's available.
While most of the story plays out indoors or on small sets, the few outdoor scenes were filmed in and around Slough, giving it that unmistakable mid-century suburban feel.
Well, I want a policeman! Madam, I am a policeman.
Critics at the time were split. Some wrote it off as lightweight farce, while others saw its charm. But the public vote couldn't be ignored. Audiences loved it.
It's utterly disgraceful. Well, you did ask for a cell with a southern exposure.
They saw themselves in the characters. Ordinary people fumbling their way through a job, trying to do their best.
Did you see that? Can I tell at a glance or can I not?
Making each other laugh in the process.
Oh, don't tell her off, Sergeant. She's very affectionate. I think she's taken to me.
This film was also a landmark because it marked Sid James's first appearance in the Carry On series.
Potter!
His mix of world-weary sarcasm and warmth would make him a staple of the franchise going forward. In many ways, he became the face of Carry On. And let's talk about legacy. Carry On Constable laid the groundwork for the ensemble formula that would dominate the next 2 decades of British comedy. It didn't rely on big stars or expensive effects.
Well then, do something about it.
Instead, it thrived on chemistry, timing, and a very British sense of humour that could laugh at life's everyday absurdities. Looking back, it's easy to see why it struck a chord.
Hear nothing, achieve nothing. You with me?
Yes, Benson.
The world was changing. Britain was in the midst of a cultural shift, and people needed a laugh. The film delivered it with just the right amount of silliness and sincerity. So, next time you hear that familiar theme tune and see the credits roll with remember it all really clicked into place here. With Carry On Constable, a comedy about a few rookies, a dog with no discipline, and a police station just barely keeping it together. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next deep dive into British film history. And let us know in the comments. What's your favourite Carry On moment? Until next time, carry on watching.
To work. Are you ready, Agatha?
If you are, Ethel.